Hello, welcome to the Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob, and this is the Age of Sigmar Stats Centre, where we look at the event results at the weekend. We talk about the lists a little bit, and then we start to kind of talk about the community and show some of that stuff off, and basically talk about the competitive Age of Sigmar scene, events that are happening around the world. Hopefully in the future show you some cool artwork and minis as well. That's one of the things I'd like to do. You know, best painteds, I'd like to show those on the screen. That would be a really fun thing to add to this show as well. But we're doing this for years. I'm really excited because this is our third Age of Sigmar 4th edition Stats Centre. Obviously, I'm sure many online commentators have talked about the fact that the game is already very solved, but I don't agree with that statement as well. In fact, I think only being 3 weeks into the edition, most people still don't even know how to play. They don't really know what manifestations do. They have no idea how to get their battle tactics more efficiently and more effectively done. Sure, there might be some war scrolls that are too strong, but we don't know what they are right now. Everyone is still learning, and that is a really healthy place for the game to be. People are still building models to try out their new weird, quirky list, and so the game is still very open. So when I do go through these lists, do not decide that these are the best net list armies in the world, because some of them might be, but some of them might not be. Either way, have some fun with it. Share these videos, hopefully, with your friends, and just build up a conversation in the comments below about the units that you've tried. Please let me know if you've played, even if you've not played an event, but if you played at your local club, you've been playing a couple of games of Age of Sigmar 4 so far, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what your experiences have been. What did you like? What were the highlights? What were the lowlights? My personal favorite thing right now is how interactive Age of Sigmar 4 is. I say, it's my movement phase. I do all my movement stuff, and I say to my opponent, would you like to do anything in the movement phase? They say no. Then I do my shooting stuff, and then I'm like, would you like to do any shooting? They say no. That interactivity, I feel, is really healthy for the game. So last week we had 14 events. This week we've only got 2 events. One of them run by an incredibly attractive tournament organizer, which is pretty cool. And so we're going to start looking at those now. Our first event, with 34 players, takes us over to the United States of America, where we have the Boise Cup AOS. This was organized by Abu Games, and if we just take a moment to look, Abu Games is right here in Idaho. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself, I'm not too bothered about going to Idaho. Well, let me make you more interested. Would you be interested to go to what seems to be a Magic the Gathering themed bubble boba tea cart and get yourself some boba tea while also playing some Age of Sigmar? Maybe. That would be a really cool experience, in my opinion. Anyway, so here you go. So this is where the event is at. We had no 5-0s at this event, but we had 2 4-1s. Those are the lists that we normally look at. We had Jared Brown with his Lumineth Rumlords. We'll look at that in a moment. And Tom Guan. Don't forget, Tom Guan last week went 5-0 with his Soulblight Gravelords as well. In fact, Tom Guan, and I think if I've got my stats correct, hasn't actually lost a game of competitive Age of Sigmar since some crazy, I think it was like 8 months ago, since September last year. So that draw that he's got is going to sting. Anyway, 2 4-1s. Let's go look at the lists. Jared's list was a Lumineth Rumlords list from the Battle Formation Hurricane Temple. He had the Morbid Conjuration Manifestation Law, and then his General's Regiment contained Severith, the Hurricane Spirit of the Wind, and a unit of 10 Hurricane Wind Chargers. His next regiment has been a Venari Lord Regent, a unit of 10 Wardens, a unit of 10 Dawn Riders, and then 1 single Starshard Ballista. And then his third regiment, even though it says Regiment 2, is a Cenari Caligrave in that list with the Silver Wand. Now, obviously, a lot of casts to be able to generate the manifestations. But in my opinion, one of the key winning factors right now for Lumineth Realmlords is just how mobile and how incredibly good at controlling objectives the Wind Spirits are. Now, they don't have massive OC with only an objective control value of 5, but what they have is massive mobility. So they're able to move across the board in both players' turns in different ways, not the same way, but in different ways, and grab objectives. So you're constantly having to babysit or guard objectives so that a Wind Spirit doesn't just quickly pop on, grab an objective. Obviously, you can double down with this, with your unit of Wind Chargers moving up the board, shooting off something that might be holding an objective, then being able to use the ability to move in the shooting phase away, get them out of danger, and then the Wind Spirit just popping on and grabbing the objective. And the fact that there are 2 with Severith and the Hurricane Wind Spirit is very tough to deal with. So incredibly mobile. You have to constantly guard them. They're also absolutely excellent for being able to do battle tactics. You're going to be able to do board edges, which is a really, can be a fairly difficult one. You're able to do table quarters because you're playing as order. All of these things are very, very achievable. Grabbing a piece of terrain. That's 3 battle tactics, which pretty much just a single wind spirit is going to be able to help you achieve. Or maybe you'll need 2. And therefore, very, very solid because it competes in the primary game and it competes, obviously, in the secondary game. And apart from that, there's a lot of shots with no wards from the wind charges. There's a lot of damage from Dawn Riders when they hit. And you got a lot of control in the magic phase. Tom Guan's list was Soulblight Gravelords like it was the week before, and also in the Death March battle formation. He also took the Morbid Conjuration Manifestation Law. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because most of the other things are not choices. So, for example, the spell law, Law of Undeath, you only get one, you only get that choice, so it's not really a choice. So explaining to people which the manifestation laws are. I'm not trying to make a point, I'm not trying to over-egg it and explain that Morbid Conjurations are too strong, or in my opinion, they probably are. I'm just trying to say that those are the choices that have been made in the list. It's a 3-drop list. The General's Regiment has got Belladama Volga, a unit of 20 Graveguard, and then Torgillis the Chamberlain. And then there's a Necromancer with the Amulet of Screams and the Lash of the Sire. 3 lots of 10 Direwolves, and then the last regiment was a Regiment of Renown. And it was the Summer King's Entourage with the Crypt Guard, a unit of Morbeg Knights, and Ushran, the Mortarch of Dilution. Now, we are going to deep dive that battle formation, the Regiment of Renown in the future. But this is just an army that does so well at pinning your opponent in, bringing lots of models back, maybe hitting you really hard with Graveguard. But the secret trick here, if there is a secret trick, is just how powerful Belladama and the Direwolves interact with each other, and then Torgillis' ability to use the battle traits to make you have more units on the board. And then, of course, you've just got the really powerful Ushran, Morbeg Knights, and Crypt Guard in the list as well. So just a great and fun list. Okay, so let's go look at the 4-1s, and it's a nice, diverse set of different armies. Ross Tanner was running Gloomspite Gitz. Dustin Chesma was running Daughters of Cain. Nate Josie was running Slaves to Darkness. Drake running Nighthorn, Drake Mulinix. And then Cole Parker was running Fireslayers. And Michael Gioni was running Sons of Behemoth. Loads of love to all of those players. So if we go and look at the list being Russ Tanner running his Gloomspite Gitz list, it was a Trogherd battle formation. He chose the Dank Manifestation Law. The General's Regiment was led by Scragrot, a Dankhold Troggoth, a unit of 3 Fell Waters, the Gobblepalooza, and a unit of 6 Rot Guts. The next regiment contained Trug the Troggoth King as the hero, a Dankhold Trogboss, which you can take in addition in a regiment, and then a unit of 3 Rot Guts, and another unit of 3 Rot Guts. There's just lots of survivability, a lot of damage in this list, and a lot of healing, which is cool. Our next list, Dustin Chesma was running Daughters of Cain in the Cauldron Guard. Absolutely love this. Just on a Daughters of Cain review, go watch it. This is such a good list. The Manifestation Law was the Manifestation of Cain as well. So the General was the Hag Queen, just on foot, with Witch Elves, with 1 unit of 20 Witch Elves with a unit of Paired Knives. Now, we talked about this in the review, but that unit of Paired Knife, Witch Elves can get up to something like 5 attacks per model. So a unit of 20 is going to be able to do 100 attacks. And then with the Allegiance ability, you're going to be able to fight twice. If you get Mind Razor off, that's 100 attacks, damage 2, fighting twice. That's a lot. They're very fragile though, but they can do that much damage. The next regiment is led by Slaughter Queen on a Cauldron of Blood with a unit of Sisters of Slaughter with Bladed Bucklers, unit of 10, 2 units of Witch Elves with Double Knives. Then in the next regiment was run by a Bloodrat Medusa with 2 units of Heartrenders. Definitely those are just for doing battle tactics. Again, table quarters, board edges, terrain, all available just for 200 points. Feels easy. And then the next regiment is Kruethsa, the Croneseer, with a unit of Doomfire Warlocks and a unit of, and again, 20 Witch Elves. So all in all, it's 60 Witch Elves in this list. Units for going and doing battle tactics in the Heartrenders and just some solid Warhammer. Next unit by Nate Josie was running a God's Wrath Slaves to Darkness list. The Manifestation Law was a Kronspine Incarnate, and the General's Regiment was Be'lakor, probably the best war scroll in the game, a unit of 10 Chaos Chosen, and then the next regiment was led by Demon Prince with the Mark of Nurgle, and then a unit of 5 Chaos Knights, another unit of 5 Chaos Knights, and then a unit of 3 Varangard, all with the Mark of Nurgle. Great armor saves, great output, great speed, great utility, and the ability to shut down command abilities or abilities from Be'lakor. Drake's Nighthawk list was running the Manifestation Law Primal Energy, and this was in the battle formation Deathstalkers. The General's Regiment was Lady Alinda, and then also a unit of reinforced Bladegeist Revenants for 20 of them, and the Cairn Wraith. The next regiment was Alrat the Drowner, with a unit of 5 Hex Wraiths, a Lord Executioner, and the Executioner had the Light Shard of the Harvest Moon. And the last regiment had a Guardian of Souls, a unit of 10 Janeghasts, and then a unit of 20 Grimghast Reapers. And then the final regiment had a Krulghast Cruciator, and a heroic trait, the rule of the Spectral Host. So the Cruciator is going to stop the first damage each unit takes each phase. You've got lots of teleporting thanks to Alrak, and also a lot of recursion thanks to Lady Alinda. And ultimately, you've got that incredible allegiance set of being able to charge while in your opponent's turn and being unrendable. Very difficult to deal with. And then the last list, or second to last list, sorry, was Fire Slayers, being run by Cole Parker. And he was running the sub-faction Warrior Kimbad. Manifestation Law, obviously, was the Magmic Invocations, aren't able to take the other generic Manifestation Laws because they've got no wizards. And the General's Regiment was a Flamekeeper with the Ashbeard and the Ashclad Rune. The Hearthguard, a unit of 10 Hearthguard Berserkers, a unit of 10 Volkite Berserkers with Fire Steel weapons. And then the next regiment was a Rune Master, 5 Hearthguard, a unit, 1 Grimwrath Berserker, and then a unit of 5 Hearthguard Berserkers with Flamestrike Poleaxes, and the last regiment had an Auric Rune Master, a unit of 10 Hearthguard Berserkers with Poleaxes, a unit of 5 Volkite Berserkers with Sling Shields, and a unit of 5 Volkite Berserkers. Those might be 10s. The Volkite Berserkers, I think, are 10s. The 10s. And then our final list is the Sons of Behemoth list, run by Michael Giannone, running Grand Alliance Destruction, the Sons of Behemoth, in the Breaker Tribe battle formation, and they had King Brod, a Beast Smasher Mega Gargant, Kragnos, and 2 Littles. King Brod is infinitely better than all of the other Mega Gargants in there, and Kragnos is good as well. They're great for holding objectives. They'll do massive damage. They're very survivable. And the Beast Smasher Mega Gargant was monstrously tough and had the Mantle as well. So just very, very, very survivable. Looks like a really cool gaming venue if you get the chance to go over. Shout out to the TO. Next time you guys run an event over at the Boise Cup, send me some pictures, send me some videos, maybe interview the players that did well. That would be really fun. But anyway, I hope you guys had a good time. Guys, girls, and MBs had a great time. Let's go look at the next event. The next event was run by me. This is actually my second 4th edition event. And I guess I maybe should just take a quick moment to talk about, like the pitfalls and other things for people who might be trying to run some Age of Sigmar 4th edition events. I'd say, number one, I really like the terrain maps that Games Workshop have put on their cards. They seem really cool, in my opinion. I do think, probably as a community at some point, we should be having a discussion about how the obscuring keyword works, because it doesn't actually interact in the way that people think it works, but that's a much longer conversation. As always, the most difficult thing that happened over the weekend was the discussion around manifestations. They were consistently the number one conversation point. Can I do this? Does it count as a unit? Does this happen? Does this happen? Does this happen? All really fair. There's some really funny moments that happened at this event, which I'll talk about in a moment. But generally, I would say that right now, having run 2 competitive Age of Sigmar 4th edition events, relax. The game is not solved. No one knows what all the answers are. People are still learning how to do stuff. A counterspell, countercharge, redeploy, shooting your opponent's turn. These are all incredibly strong abilities. Some of them may be too strong. Probably shooting your opponent's turn should cost 2 CP, not 1 CP. Being able to cast shackles in your opponent's turn is wild, yeah, and can do some really impactful stuff. That's what I saw over the weekend. Lots of the players were giving me feedback that this was too good, or they made a mistake, and lots of mistakes are being made. So, this being the second event that I've run, just be conscious that the feedback I've had from players is they're still learning and lots of stuff is going on. I think that's a really valuable thing to talk about. The other thing I'd like to talk about is the fact that I didn't use Best Coast Pairings to run my event, and instead I used a website which I've talked about before called Malarkey. They've now updated it, so you are going to be able to use this, which is really cool. So you can use this for 4th edition. You could do this in 2 different ways. Number one, if you really wanted to, you could just decide to play your own games. So if you go over here and look at battles, you can just decide to play your own battles. I played as 1 game as a spare player this weekend. What you can do, here you can see, this is me playing at the event from the weekend. And if you go onto the that particular match, you can see all the scorecard here. What's really nice and what really helped me run this for this weekend was that all of the players could use the inbuilt digital scorecard on their phone and update their scores there, so they didn't need me to ask questions. I didn't need to print out any score sheets. I didn't need to provide pens or any of those other things. They had the capacity to track their own scores in real time. The website also does some really clever stuff as well. Like, it tells you, by the way, you're the underdog. Don't forget. It doesn't let you pick a battle tactic if you shouldn't be able to pick a battle tactic because you've taken a double. I really liked it as a website. It worked really well, and it really helped me track the website. Not sponsored by these people. I actually pay and subscribe to this website. So this is something that I like and I pay money for, not something I'm being paid to endorse. So that's an important thing to remember. And as a tournament organizer, and probably one of like the most, I run a lot of events. I've got another event I'm running this weekend. I'm running another event next weekend. Like, I run a lot of events, and this works really well. So that's nice. What's also really nice for you people at home, and I will include a link below so you can click it, you can see what all of the scores were and what everyone was able to like get as a result. So if I just change these around a little bit, and you're gonna be able to do this, you can see if I rate it by wins, that's really nice. And then if I do it by VP differential here, you can see how the players did, which is super nice. As you can see, Hazel won the event. Let's talk about what Hazel was running. Hazel was running an Ogre Moor Tribes list with the Prophets of the Gulping God. So that's a +1 to cast. She had a Butcher, 5 Gorge and War Pack, and 6 Gluttons. She then had a Slaughtermaster and 12 Gluttons, and then a Tyrant, who was the General, with the Fang of Gur and Touched by the Everwinter, 20 Noblars, and 8 Iron Guts. And the Morbid Conjuration Manifestation Law. I did speak to her, and she said that she will just be taking more and more Gluttons because they're just brilliant. And she also says there's absolutely nothing in the world that 8 Iron Guts won't kill. So there's some really good feedback and a bit of news for Ogre fans. So that's cool. We'll talk about the 4-1s in a moment because they're really worth talking about. But I just want to talk about Natty, who's just further down here. So one of the big bits of news is Natty was running his Ossiarch Bone Reaper's army, and he was playing Nagash. There was actually 3 Nagash players this weekend, which was cool. Also 3 Seraphon players. And they all ended up playing against each other. So we ended up with a Nagash off. But the best news, and kind of audio warning if you listen to this as a podcast or as a video, because the sound is about to get not much louder, but might get a bit sketchy. We have a video of where one Nagash was playing against another Nagash, and one Nagash had charged in and failed to kill the first Nagash in combat, and the second Nagash had failed to kill the first Nagash in combat. So we ended up in a situation where we got a double Hand of Dust. Who's doing the Hand of Dust?
My Hand of Dust first.
Okay, your Hand of Dust. Wait, hold on. There's 2 Nagashes. Your Hand of Dust first. First Hand of Dust survived. Back.
You're looking forward, guys.
Okay. You got this, Natty. You got this. Oh no! An amazing experience for everyone at the event, and we all had a great time. The Hand of Dust off was obviously excellent, and everyone was super happy. Very fun. Okay. So, getting back to the 4-1 list, we can see Josh Brunion was running Luminath Realm Lords. What's really nice as well here, you can see the list, and we'll talk about it in a second, but you can see all of the matches that Josh played. So you can click through those and see how he played against different players. And those are things which are, if I click on it, you can see how the match went, what he scored when he was the underdog, and all of those other things. It's a really useful website for you as the viewer at home. Anyway, Josh was running a Hurricane Temple battle formation, and then he was running a General's Regiment was an Archmage tech list, a unit of 20 Sentinels, a unit of 10 Dawn Riders, and his second regiment was a Wind Mage, and then a unit of Wind Chargers, and then a unit of Wardens. And he said he was running the Morbid Conjuration. He said he loved the Morbid Conjuration. It was super powerful, it was really effective. He loved the Wind Chargers. He said they were really good. The Dawn Riders were great, and tech list was excellent. So that's the feedback that he gave. Kieran, excellent human being, was running Legion of Chaos. So he's running Slaves to Darkness. His sub-faction, was the Legion. Battle formation was Legion of Chaos. His general regiment was Be'lakor, a unit of 10 Chosen, a unit of 10 Chaos Knights, and then a Chaos Sorcerer Lord on Manticore, a Gore Beast Chariot, and the Mutalith Vortex Beast. Kieran loves a really fun Really fun, little quirky edge list. That's what he's always trying to do. He's always out there, and he's just like a classic core hammer play. So he's just trying to do some fun stuff. He said the Mutalist Vortex Beast was actually pretty decent. It was survivable, but it fought against chaff. It didn't fight against anything big. So that was our 4-1. And then Natty, our other 4-1, who you just saw win the big hand of dust off, was running OCR Bone Reapers with the Horrors of the Necropolis manifestation law, which did really help him in that combat because it reduced down the enemy Nagash's ward save while he had the Immortis Guard giving him a 4-up ward save. Then Nagash, that Immortis Guard unit, 2 units of 5 Death Riders, and then a unit of Morghast Harbingers. The big news here is that unit of Morghast Harbingers with 3d6 charge would just be thrown up the board on the first turn, fight everything and pin stuff in. Then when it was eventually killed, Nagash, for free, can just bring the entire unit back. So really, you're playing against a 2.5k list. So that is super effective, as well as Nagash giving everyone a 5-up ward save from spellcasting, doing mortal damage, and also putting all of those manifestations on the board. So a pretty light weekend when it comes to the results, but like the events. But I think people are still obviously just planning to put those events in, booking those events. I know I have another event in a couple of weeks that I've been intending to play in, and I think people are still learning the game. I would like to just advocate for some caution about event results, stats as well, and other things. Having watched people play at tournaments recently, people are still learning the game. People are still practicing and understanding how the rules work. So definitely there is a good conversation about how some units and armies being better than each other. But at the moment, just take the time to go out there and play your games. If people are being really hyperbolic about what's too good or what's too strong, just go and experience the game for yourself. Learn about those really fun interactions. Learn about the fun stuff you can do with your units. Go and play the game and practice and have some fun, because it's a really great game. The experience from the players who played at the weekend was they had a good time, which is what I cared about. So keep going and go have fun out there in your hobby. Thanks for watching the Stats Centre. We'll be back next week. We'll be back every week. If you are playing at some events, make sure to hassle your TOs to send us pictures and videos of all the people that are having fun. And shout out to the Age of Sigmar community. You're a great community to be a part of. I really enjoy being a part of it. And just go have fun and enjoy your games. Thanks to everyone on the Twitch chat. Thanks to everyone on the Honest Wargamer Patreon, where we have a very active Patreon and Discord community you could be a part of if you want. And thanks for watching my video. See you soon.